Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newsgram. What if the secret to staying young wasn't about skincare or supplements? What if it just comes down to keeping your brain curious and active? I was reading an article recently that quoted Accenture CEO Julie Sweet. She likes to ask job candidates, what have you learned in the last 6 months? That question isn't just smart, it's revealing, because people who keep learning tend to stay flexible, energetic, and mentally sharp. It's also the key to expanding your mind and keeping you young. Get ready, because this edition of Newsgram is going to introduce you to the Fountain of Youth. Today you'll meet Dr. Anthony Emmett, a plastic surgeon turned artist turned author who says the Fountain of Youth is inside your mind.
The art of staying young is to constantly take on new things which develop new pathways in your physical brain, and that translates into new ideas in your mind. And that constant set of new ideas keeps expanding your mind and will keep you young.
Scientists call this neuroplasticity. It's a fancy word for your brain's ability to grow and change. It helps you remember things, learn new skills, and even heal when you get hurt. Just like how muscles get stronger when you exercise, your brain gets better at things the more you practice. It's always making new connections, helping you adapt to new experiences and different kinds of learning.
The brain is always developing new pathways. That's how it functions. And bear in mind that as you put new ideas into your brain, with neuroplasticity, you develop new pathways. This is the way you recover from a stroke as well, but you've got to keep trying. So you open it, you look at the idea, you try, and as you try, you expand your brain, and each pathway gives you a new idea in your mind.
And he's only half joking when he says reading his book, Power of the Mind, Know Yourself, is going to make you younger.
The brain is always developing new pathways. That's how it functions. And each pathway gives you a new idea in your mind. The brain is the hardware. The mind is the software. And you keep expanding your mind as you put in new ideas. So each new idea you pick up in this book expands your brain-mind connection and keeps you younger. You will make yourself younger by reading and absorbing this.
He says the answer to eternal youth is to keep those neural pathways active. Try seeing the world full of possibilities. Keep your childhood sense of wonder alive and active. Because when you're excited about life and life's possibilities, you're open, you're flexible, and you're ready to explore.
Bear in mind that we are here to learn.
Exactly. Studies have shown that lifelong learners have better memories, they have lower risk of cognitive decline, and they even have improved emotional health.
By keeping yourself happy, you can make yourself well. Wellness and happiness go together, and it's because the cells of your body each separately respond to what you carry in your mind.
Happiness is the best medicine? Well, maybe. I'm not saying you can cure disease with comedies on Netflix, but according to Dr. Emmett, it doesn't hurt. Our unconscious mind controls a big part of our life, and it can be influenced.
There was a well-known fellow, his name was Cousins, he wrote a book about it. He was told that he would never leave hospital, he was terminally ill and would die. With the agreement of his physician, he showed himself funny films, and each funny film, they'd do a blood test on him before and after each 2 hours of laughter, he would be a little bit better. And finally, he was able to leave hospital and write a book about it because he was a journalist. But the thing is that what you do with laughter is you make your cells well. And each individual conscious cell will become happier and make you better. Very interesting.
I think so. How we feel about ourselves deep down in our subconscious really does affect our self-image, even if we don't realize it. It's one of the dangers of social media. Every time you scroll, you're taking in tons of images and messages. What's hot, who's successful, what's funny, what gets likes. Even if you know it's filtered or fake, your subconscious can still treat it like it's real. Over time, that can mess with your confidence, it can affect your self-worth, and it can affect how you see the world. Try to remind yourself that most of what's online is curated and it's not real. Dr. Emmett says our unconscious mind is also working in the background to help the creative process. He's a painter and a sculptor in addition to being a retired plastic surgeon, and he credits his subconscious mind for much of his inspiration.
When you give yourself to a work, whether you are doing a painting, a watercolor, an acrylic, an oil, as you give yourself to that work, you go into a different level of consciousness and you get help from your deeper levels in which you communicate. And you can draw on inspiration that will come to you when you give yourself to a work and you relax and let your mind be open and things come to you. This has happened to me all my life from my childhood.
Examining this phenomena led him to write a different book, which we recently profiled here on Newsgram, called Your Unique Consciousness, The Eternal Path of Life. A fascinating look at all levels of consciousness, your mind, your heart, and beyond, and how their energy shapes our identity, our creativity, and even our relationships.
Well, the key thing is that when you're asleep, your consciousness is working at a different frequency. When you're awake, the frequency changes, and you've got to record straight away or you'll lose it. And many inventors describe the crucial piece of knowledge coming in sleep, and there's a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine, and the man who described that was unable to figure out the experiment that would prove it. But one night in sleep it came to him, so he didn't write it down. He got up, went to the laboratory and did the experiment and proved the point.
Dr. Emmett has written a number of books on consciousness and the mind-body connection, and there's one common theme among them, and it's this. You are an eternal soul spirit, here for a short time to live one more life on this planet full of mistakes. And that is one of the key takeaways for today.
Consciousness is a bit like an iceberg. 15% above the water is what we use every day. But then we've got the other 85%. You go into another frequency when you're in the sleep level, and then you have the subconscious, which is very important. We hold our self-image in the subconscious. But there is a deeper consciousness again, at a different frequency, a higher frequency than our conscious mind can normally sustain. And that is the level at which you meet the organizer of all things, the eternal love we call God. And so each human has God within in the deeper consciousness. We have access to the beauty and joy of eternity within ourselves. So you never need to fear, because you have that in your levels of consciousness.
Empower the mind, know yourself, your hidden unconscious mind. He encourages lifelong learning and emphasizes that everything you need to know about who you are is within you. It's stored in the unconscious levels of your mind. Why not take a deep dive into who you are? If youth really is in the mind, then maybe it's time to explore yours. Who knows what neural pathways you'll connect next? Keep learning, keep growing, and stay forever young. Dr. Emmett's book is available now online at all the places where you like to shop for books. I put some links there in the show notes for you to make it easy. Thanks for listening to this edition of Newsgram from webtalkradio.com.